was your experience, man? Was it a good trip?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Yeah?
It was nice because it feels like everything I worked on from the last fight transferred over into this fight. Like, I had that fight in October, and it was a win, but it was because of some of the low blows and things that happened, it was a sloppy win. So we walked out and immediately knew what we needed to work on, and I felt like it was on display for the next fight. So
nice, man.
I was proud of that.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
How's it feel coming? Because you came off of a losing streak before the October fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're on a winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a big turnaround. And I've said this before. I don't really consider either of those losses necessarily. One of them I took on 3 days' notice, and it was my first fight. And the next one, my opponent pulled out, and I fought up in weight. A guy who was massive compared to me. We took fight of the night, and I took a loss, but they were both learning experiences.
Man, you got that experience out of it for sure, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and now there's this huge mental thing that I don't really have to go through where I stood across the cage from that behemoth, and you've seen him. He was a huge guy compared to me. He's like 6'3". He fought for the 185 title last weekend, and I'm a natural 55. So to know that I stood across from him and I went the 3 rounds, now it's like fighting somebody in my weight class. No, you're not. It's fine.
All right. You feel pretty good at 165?
Yes and no. I felt good, but the goal is still to get to 155. So I probably won't fight again until that's the weight is fighting at 155.
Yeah.
That's where I think I'd be the most competitive.
Do a good diet up until last week and do a good water cut?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like how you were saying, you making that cut, having to go through that extra struggle kind of makes it that much more gratifying.
Yeah, it's more of a reward when you finally, go feast.
Right.
Yeah, and this is a party.
Yeah.
And going to work, have fun.
100%.
I'm not going to go too crazy. I want to keep it. I want to be 155 by January, so have a few cheat meals here and there, but I'm going to stay pretty strict on myself.
Yeah, Thanksgiving's going to be the hardest.
I was actually just talking. I'm going to work out 7 a.m. Thanksgiving morning. I was like, I'm not going to just have the calories sitting there with nowhere to go.
Oh, yeah.
Make it worth it.
Nice, man. So are you thinking of trying to, so after January, looking for another card?
Preferably in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to. Like you said, I'm on a streak now. I don't want to let that go to waste. I'm ready to get back to work. Yeah.
And then that gives you an extra target to
exactly
motivate you to get down there.
Plus, we don't have a date for the 155 tournament. You're doing the 170 tournament.
In March.
It's in March.
I know it's in March, but I don't know a date yet because that was my main goal. When before I knew if my meniscus was sore, I was I'm going to compete in the 155 tournament. Found out my meniscus was sore, can't do it. And before then, I was still chomping at the bit. I'm like, Tim, when is it? And he said, it's going to be in March. The 205 and the 155 should be in March.
Okay.
That's going to be a crazy night.
But,
so before this moment, I had no idea it was in March. And so my mindset was I want to get busy in January or February, get kind of a 2 months in a row, get a good match in, maybe something with headgear just to keep myself warm, and then the tournament right after that. So
you're talking about that one boxing tournament.
Yeah, that was a tough, man, and I'm still kind of torn. I liked the idea of doing it for money, but after they said I couldn't bring my own corners down.
Yeah, have you told him about that?
No, so I signed up for a tough man tournament. There's a $1,000 cash prize. It's boxing.
Ooh.
It's like, it's 1 minute rounds, but then I saw you can't bring your own corners.
What?
They provide the corner. I was like, well, you don't know what I do, how I train, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. What are you going to tell me to do? Haymakers?
Where's this at?
I want someone
so
to tell
West
me why
Virginia
they would
tough
want that.
man.
West Virginia.
What would be the reason they would want that?
Sean Snyder's opinion is it keeps people coming through them and staying through them because you're not allowed to have 5 fights outside of it. So you're not. So it keeps people fighting in tough man for the cash and not going anywhere else.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's not like afterwards you're going to probably keep training with them. You're coming from a distance, right? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. It's
Whatever.
like they're trying to talk you into having a coach that you're not going to have.
Right.
Whatever their mindset is, they've been around for a decade, so I guess it's working for them.
Yeah. It's weird.
Gotcha. So how's the whole COVID-19 affected your past 2 camps? Do you think it's had any effect?
Not really. I mean, it did, obviously, with the gym shut down there the last 2 weeks before we fought in October, but we were already so warmed up, we had enough people that we could still get together with, and I didn't think it made a difference. I mean, did you? You fought on the same card.
No, I was still in here getting the work in.
Yeah.
There wasn't any. I know for my first fight, though, it was a little, it seemed like training partners were scarce. People were more afraid to get up in here, but, I mean, taking a step back now as of yesterday, but it seems like we were getting better. I heard yesterday they shut things down, but
Yeah, the only thing that really affected me was that because people here at the gym either had it or thought they had it, I had to get tested. Tim Loy said I had to get tested before I could fight, so which was super unpleasant.
Yeah, my second time was a lot more unpleasant than the first time. The first one, she barely like touched my nose. The second one, she about fucking gave me a fucking. What was it when they ice pick your nose?
Again, I think it depends on who's doing it. Because I had talked to Sean and Paul, who both said they shoved it up there and then left it there, and then when I had it done, it was.
Dude, I felt it for like 2 days later. She touched my brain.
Yeah, mine. I got to do like they handed me mine each time. They told me like where to.
They let you do it?
Yeah, on both times. One was like a cotton swab, and another one was like it had bristles on it, and my eyes are watering, and they're laughing at it. It was bad. It was bad news, man.
Where'd you go to get it done?
St. E, I think both times. Yeah, both times. It's somewhere. I don't really.
We'll be calling St. E next time.
Yeah.
Sure. So. Your first two fights were kickboxing fights as well, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any plans to do like MMA, or are you going to stay kickboxing?
I'd like to fight MMA maybe at least once, but I'm a striker at heart. I want to box. I want to kickbox. I want to stand up. I mean, if I'm being honest, my next goal is condition my shins, do kickboxing without shins. Ooh. I'd love to do one with elbows. If I went pro, I'd love to do bare knuckle. I just love stand-up fighting. You know what I mean? That's where my passion's at.
I want to get you on the jits, man.
The way you're looking at me right now makes me a little nervous. Turn me into a pretzel.
No. It's just a good training partner, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure.
Always
fun to hang out with on the men's side. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a bucket list thing, but at the end of the day, striking and competing in striking is where my passion's at.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to get into his match?
Yeah.
This guy and I were scheduled to fight like 6 times before this finally happened, so there was a lot of history here.
Really?
Yeah, we're supposed to fight January, and then in March, and then COVID hit, everything stopped, and then Stand Up Warriors tried to come back in August, and it was canceled, so 3 times. But we were scheduled opposite each other 3 different times.
Dude, for the amount of time that we had to be out from like different shows, having to go on pause and everything, we've definitely made up some ground in the last 2 or 3 months. We were talking about that last night. How many matches have we had in the last 2 months? Like 9 or 10 matches between all of us.
Yes, it was 3 my first match. 4, 5, yeah, about 9 or 10.
All right.
Way more wins than losses too. People are starting to take notice.
For sure, man. And no one grinds like we do. Everybody wants to go down there and just seems like they want to do that point style and be pretty. We're coming in to fight you, man. Either way. That or we all just want beer and pizza real bad and get out of the cave.
Win or lose, it doesn't matter who's across from anybody coming out of this gym. It's going to be a show, for sure.
Yeah.
I was saying that at the fight. Like, we don't put on boring fights. Maybe I'm biased because I'm from this gym, but I think we're exciting to watch, all of us.
Yeah. Sure, man. That walkout was dope too. Going down that tunnel.
Yeah, awesome, it was nice.
Yeah. And Sean Snyder, he was at Fuji with us all day. As soon as the kids were done, he drove up
right
there.
Yeah, I had no idea his kids were competing. He told me on like Thursday that he was going to come down, and I didn't know until that morning that he was with his kids at Fuji.
Yeah, he had a long ass day.
I noticed you wear that Street Fighter shirt at all your fights. Is that like a...
Ashley got that for me. My fiance got that for me, and it was kind of like a happy accident. First of all, I think I look good in it. Second of all, the colors match our competition shorts, so...
Gotcha.
When I fought Malik down at Valor, I had this shirt to walk out in, but I got it all sweaty from like pre-workout, and I was stinky, so I just threw on the closest matching shirt that I had, and after that I was like, you know what, I like that.
Right, this might be my thing.
I'm going to stick with that.
There you go. You could do like I know Cerrone like has a piece of his like old shorts that he puts on all his fight shorts, right? Like he just cuts out a patch and makes
repatches it.
Yeah, you can do that with the shirt eventually.
That's dope.
That's a good idea. This was a different experience for me. Usually I've got nerves like in the walkout, and then once we get to the cage, those all hit me like an hour before. Mm-hmm. So I worked through it backstage, and Sean, and Jeff were all good at kind of pulling me back from the brink and getting me back focused. But by the time I walked out, it's the first time I didn't have nerves walking to the cage or getting in the cage.
That's good, man.
How was it size-wise fighting in this cage to Valor's cage? This cage looks a lot bigger than...
It is a lot bigger, but in the fight, maybe it's just because of how both my fights played out, I didn't really notice.
That's one thing I do like about fighting down at Valor. You can't run from me. We're going to fight. It's going to happen.
Well, this guy didn't try. We knew going into it, either he watched my last fight, so one of two things was going to happen. He was either going to come out hard, swing in and try to end it quick, or he was going to come out tentative. And obviously he comes out hard and fast, so he didn't try to run. So there was no reason to, like, I didn't need the space.
Right.
Obviously, in the first few seconds, we know how he's going to fight. So, right there, clenching him up like that, Tyler, I knew that when you pressured me, it was like almost a reaction to go in for the clinch. Oh, yeah, so that was one of those things that training, I knew, was just instinct.
Yeah, it just drags the batteries down.
He hit me with that too, just then. Hardest
another
fucking
good knee to deliver, 2 knees to deliver. Mm-hmm. Good uppercut, another hook.
Yeah, you did a good job of changing the tempo right there. Oh man, them knees are. Just that patty cake with his face.
Yeah, if he's just gonna keep his head down there, he's just gonna keep popping.
Get off.
We threw a knee after the ref told us to break.
Good side kick.
Oh man, so the story of the fight is Ben's knees.
Yeah, you can already tell a huge difference in the clinch right there. How much his opponent's already drowning.
Ooh. I mean, every one of them too, man. He's so worried about keeping you up off of him, wearing himself down. The knees are just chipping away. But I can tell you, as somebody who gets leaned on by everybody in this gym, it is not fun.
Uppercut. Nice.
He goes for a single there, and you can't see from that angle, but it was the same thing. I just kind of started to play patty cake with his face.
It looked like you landed a nice jab when he tried to catch your foot right there. Nice.
Yeah, like I said, it was a good round watching it from this angle, but the first thing I said when Jeff and Sean got to me is, that motherfucker hit hard.
Really?
He landed a 2 on me, and I thought, you kind of see me crumble against the cage. I thought I might go down for a second right there, because it was hard.
Was he saying it was his shin or something with his thigh?
He says it was his foot.
His foot?
His ankle popped when he threw a kick. And there was 2 where he projected his kick, so I just kind of put my hands high, and he did hit my elbow. But, I mean, who am I to say how serious someone's injury is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, some of that one punch Burlew, he didn't want anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Good deal.
If I could change anything about the fight, that would have been that I would have been able to display more of my boxing. He just, every time he would come in with those punches, he was in clinch range, and that's what we've been drilling: kick, punch, clinch.
Yeah. Just keep the volume up, man. That was perfect.
It's definitely a good fight.
So you think your next match, that VFC tournament in March?
I'm hoping to fight before that. January, if in my perfect world, since it's in March, I'll fight January. I'll take February to really focus in on it, and then March, do that again. And then an outside combat sports goal that I've got is I want to run more triathlons. I did that in 2019, and then obviously it's been a bad year for races in 2020.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. I can tell a huge difference with stand-up order. It seems like Bill Hoffman's taking that show over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So on a good record now, we're past 4 fights. We've had wins now. About to make it. Actually, that's going to be a tough one for the tournament. I was about to say we're about to make it 3 more wins, but that's not possible. If you two meet up in the tournament. So two wins for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I got faith in my guys.
I leave my mouthpiece in, and I end up taking a stupid picture because I've got it in. We do our team picture, and I didn't realize it until later, but I looked at it and I was like, God, I look ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think Triple Crown just messes with me and posts only the lousy pictures.
It's gotta feel so rewarding, though. He broke his will and didn't want to go anymore, man.
It feels rewarding because I did it exactly how we've been training it. Like I said, I won again October, but the low blows, and I wasn't, even if the low blows weren't there, I wasn't ready for his clinch because he was good in the clinch. So it was a win, but like I said, it was kind of a sloppy win. It was 50% luck because he got the points deducted and 50% barroom brawl because that's just how it happened. That's the kind of fight that I needed to fight to win. So there wasn't a whole lot of technique as much as just we're going, and if we're not getting knocked out, we're going to feel it. You know what I mean? So
that was something Sean Nickel talked about in his last fight. He wasn't really happy with his performance. He got the dub, but he knew he could have performed better. You know what I mean? Put on the bigger shot. I think that's what gives a lot of our fighters the edge. Yes, we're there to fight. Yes, we're there to win. But at the end of the day, we know we're there. We're entertainers. We come to perform. We put on a show. We're not there to slouch and sandbag.
Just barely make it by.
Exactly.
And that's what happened in October is I barely made it by. It was a split decision, right? Isn't that what they ended up? I think it was a split decision.
I believe so. It's just not gratifying to yourself, and that's always like you know what I mean? You got everybody like, oh man, it was a good win, but that's what I mean. You got to be like that though to keep yourself progressing.
And you know, we're the ones that got to live with it at the end of the day. Exactly. It is a team sport, but the win and loss record that's for us. That's for the individual. Right. You know, so I have to look back at that and be happy with it. So.
Indeed.
Awesome work, man.
Yep. I think that about wraps it up, right?
Yeah. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming in and doing this with us, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry Paul couldn't be here.
Huh? We'll get him later.
Give a pretty boy shout out. We fought together on 3 of my last 4 cards. So I'm excited to see what he does next.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I guess that's it on this.
All right.
Let's cut it up. Cool.